Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time for another look at what I have checked out from the library. Yay! I have 10 books currently checked out, and I don't know how many of these I'm going to get to in May, but I thought I'd show you what I have. 2 that I have are on my most anticipated reads from the winter. So these are both out, obviously, but they were anticipated new releases. One of them is a nonfiction, and that's Remember by Lisa Genova. She has written quite a few novels that deal with not mental issues, but brain diseases and brain situations like Alzheimer's and Lou Gehrig's and autism and things like that. And this book is a nonfiction that she wrote about the science of memory and the art of forgetting. So I don't know if it's going to have like how to increase your memory, which I could definitely use, but I just know Lisa Genova is a neurosurgeon, brain scientist, and she is incredibly smart and does a really good job in her fiction of helping you to understand what somebody with some of these diseases go through and what they feel and how their families relate. I love the few books of hers that I've read that are fiction. So I'm very curious to see a nonfiction from her. So hopefully I can get to that. It doesn't seem very long either. And the other one from that anticipated reads list is The Nature of Fragile Things by Susan Meissner, which I know I'm going to love, and I need to renew it. My library has gone back to having due dates. So all of these I had to renew already because as of this past week, everything that has been checked out is due on May 3rd, but I've renewed a bunch of them. So I have to look. There was a couple that couldn't renew, so I'm just going to read those ones first and pay the fees. Nature of Fragile Things might be one of them. I can't remember. This one takes place, I should have read it in April 18th, 1906 in San Francisco, when there was a huge earthquake and then it sparked into a fire. Devastating time for the people who lived in San Francisco. And I believe we're going to follow 3 different women. Sophie, a young Irish immigrant, answers a mail order bride. And then I believe the man that she marries has a daughter, and she is a selective mute, maybe or maybe just mute. And then one spring evening, a stranger at their door sets in motion a transforming chain of events. So another woman shows up at their door. So it's going to involve these 3 women, and I'm just really excited to read that one. I trust Susan Meissner to do a good job with it. I have 2 currently checked out that are NetGalley books. So I have quite a few on NetGalley that are much older now, and so I'm just going to try to read them in print and then write my reviews and get that score up. So I have The 100 Lies of Lizzie Levitt. I'm actually going to try to find this on audio. I think I might have already found it on audio, but this is a YA and I really don't know anything about it. Everyone has their own version of the truth. Ain't that the truth? And then this is a middle grade, The Girl Who Stole an Elephant by Nizrana Farouk. I believe this takes place in India, and it's an Own Voices author, Sri Lanka. Chaya, a nobleman's no-nonsense daughter and outspoken hero, just can't resist the shiny temptations the king's palace has to offer. But playing Robin Hood doesn't come without risks, and when Chaya steals the queen's jewels from a bedside table, a messy getaway jeopardizes the life of a friend. After an equally haphazard prison break, Chaya barely escapes on the king's prized elephant. With leeches and revolution lurking in the jungle, Chaya leads her friends on a thrilling adventure. Will her sticky fingers be the beginning or the end of everything for this ragtag gang of getaways? Yay! That sounds so much fun. It's a little tiny book, but I'm excited for that one. The rest of these are just kind of random ones that I had put on hold at some point and brought home. So I have Crazy Stupid Bromance, which is book 3, I believe, in the romance books by Lyssa Kay Adams. So I've read the first 2, really enjoyed them, and going for the 3rd one. The Chicken Sisters by KJ Delatonia is about rival fried chicken places, and I think they go on a TV show, like a Food Wars type of a thing. I don't know if they're both food trucks or restaurants, but it's going to have that rival food competition aspect, which I'm totally down for that. Another middle grade that I have out is Paper Wishes by Lois Sepaban. And this one, 10-year-old Manami, I cannot read that. Holy moly, the writing on this is so small. 10-year-old Manami does not realize how peaceful her life on Bainbridge Island, Washington is until the day it all changes. It's 1942, shortly after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, and Manami and her family are forced by the government to leave their home by the sea and join the other Japanese Americans at a prison camp in the California desert. Manami is sad to go, but even worse, her family must give her dog to a neighbor to take care of. Manami decides to sneak Yujin under her coat and gets as far as the mainland before she is caught and forced to abandon him. Devastated by the loss of her beloved pet and her family's sudden move, Manami finds refuge in drawing pictures of Yujin and writing promises to take good care of him if only he will return to her. Oh man, this one's going to be sad. Each morning she hopes he will come back, and she sends her promised drawings into the air. Will her family ever be whole again? Oh, I'm not a dog person, but I definitely can get emotional about people who are in books. And this is another middle grade that is quite little. And I feel like I've heard good things about this one. I'm not sure, but I'm interested in reading that. I have a third in a trilogy. This is the end of the trilogy, possibly. A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. And I know this is one that I cannot renew. So as of tomorrow, this is overdue. So I should pick this one up soon. But this continues the story that the first one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Oh man, what was it? A Curse So Dark and Lonely. And I really, really enjoyed the first one. And then the second one gets further, like deeper into the world of the first one. And we meet but we get to know some of the other characters a little bit more. And I really enjoyed that one as well. So I'm looking forward to how it all wraps up in A Vow So Bold and Deadly. So I have that out and need to read it soon. I also don't know too much about this one. Christina Baker Klein, The Exiles. I do know that I loved The Orphan Train by her. The short summary at the top says, a powerful, emotionally resonant novel that captures the hardship, oppression, opportunity, and hope of a trio of women's lives in 19th century Australia. And I believe one of the women at least was in prison in London and then is sent or exiled to live in Australia. And it's just in its early 19th century. So they are on a repurposed slave ship. So we're going to be in the water for part of the time. Although Australia has been home to Aboriginal people for more than 50,000 years, the British government in the 1840s considers that its fledgling colony uninhabited and untamed. Oof. So that's going to be rough to read about, and views the Indigenous people as an unpleasant nuisance. Oh, sad day. By the time the Medea arrives, many of them have been forcibly relocated, their land seized by white colonists. One of these relocated people is Matina, the orphan daughter of the chief of the Laurine tribe, who has been taken in on a whim by the new governor of Van Diemen's Land. So this is based on true events, and it's going to deal with like the early settling of Australia, which is going to be emotional, I am sure. I have heard good things about it, and I know that I've loved her other books, so I'm very interested. I do need to renew that one as well. And then finally, I have a graphic novel, which I believe I heard about in one of my lives. Someone was reading this or recommended this. Catherine's War by Julia Billet and Claire Fauvel. Probably those are French names that I'm butchering. But this is going to be a World War II graphic novel. You can see a little bit of the artwork there. I don't want to spoil anything. At a children's home outside of Paris, Rachel has discovered her passion, photography. Although she hasn't heard from her parents in months, she loves the people at her school and adores capturing what she sees in pictures. But as France buckles under the Nazi regime, danger closes in and Rachel must change her name and go into hiding. So life during war through the lens of one brave young girl, like the literal lens, because she's into photography. I've heard that it's really good. So I grabbed that one from the library as well. Those are the 10 books that I have checked out right now. I would love to know if you've read any of these, which ones. I mean, I'm going to be prioritizing probably these two, A Vow So Bold and Deadly and The Exiles, because I know they're due soon or can't be renewed. So those ones I hope to add. I should just leave them here. I hope to add them to my May reads. But I really would love to get to a bunch of these in May. I don't know if I'll get to all of them. I guess we'll see. I've been doing really good lately of reading from my shelves. So possibly I will not get to all of these. Oh, I also really want to read this one. Oh man, I want to read all of them. But here they all are. Oh, can you see them all? I would love to know your thoughts on these books. Which ones can I just return? Which ones should I definitely get to? Or what do you have checked out from your library? Are your libraries opening back up? Mine are now. I don't know if all of them are open. I don't think they're all open. The one that I normally go to is open, but no library sales or anything like that yet. But it's coming. It's coming. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you love your library. Subscribe if you haven't already. Chat with me down in the comments, and I will be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye.